All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Connection problems. We're gonna cut this. So we were talking about each Monday is a meet day for Roland, and then this is super smart. But why Monday? Why not Sunday?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. It's not Sunday because you have a lot of programs with friends on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
So we are entrepreneurs, and this is the freedom of being an entrepreneur. That's why I choose Monday, because on Monday, a lot of your friends are going back to work, and then I didn't want it to I didn't want it to cancel the invitations of my friends for Sunday, so that's why I choose Monday.
that's good. That's smart. Actually, right now I'm reading this from Brian Tracy. It's the Eat the Frog. Eat that
Uh-huh.
frog. It's so good. It's about it's related content to the famous book too called The One Thing. So basically, it's like
Yeah.
just in the morning you shut down everything, like every communication, notification,
Yeah.
email, social media, everything before 11 a.m. And then you do your personal stuff, take care of yourself, meditation, workout, blah blah blah. And then you tackle the one thing that would change your business for the rest of the week. That would like set your day for free. And usually you should
Yeah.
like count it down into a minute, an hour and a half, because your brain can be only productive an hour and a half. If you need more time, you should take a break of like at least 30 minutes and go back on it.
Yeah.
And then
I
that's
think you
it.
need to. This is also comes down to self-awareness. So I think you really need to. You need to try out different things and see which works for yourself. Because for
True.
me, I was trying to, because you've been told that you need to wake up at 5 because 5 a.m. club rocks or whatever. And then I tried this 5 a.m. club, and I did it for so let's step back. So everything new that you start, you should, I think, do at least for 30 or 60 days. Because for example, when I was starting out with waking up at 5, for the first couple of days, for sure you're gonna feel shit, and you wanna quit. So make sure you surpass that level. So that's why I'm doing at least 30 60 days when I'm trying out a new habit. So for example, my experiment with the 5 a.m. club, I was doing the 5 a.m. club, and I woke up every day 5 a.m. for 60 days, because my friends are doing it in my men's circle, and I was inspired by them, because they are, they feel like, they wake up before everybody, they get done a lot of shit before 10, whatever. And I did it, and I was feeling really bad, because I needed to go to bed. I need 6 7 hours of sleep. I think it's also different for everybody. I need 6 7 hours for sure, and so I needed to go to bed around 10 or 11 or something, and I was feeling really bad about it, because I'm a night type person, so I love the night. I'm really creative at the night. I can do my best writings at the night. I can really concentrate on reading the stuff. So that's why you really need to experiment with eating that frog. I think it's really important, but it's important until a point in your entrepreneurial career, because until you reach a point, you need to copy the ones who already are walking on the path you want to walk on. But then there comes a crossroad where you can actually decide, do I still want to follow other people's ideas, or I can just be inspired by them, but I can test out for myself. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm, for example, reading Eat That Frog, and then testing for yourself what is working, and then doing the stuff that feels good for you. This is important. This is also key for success, for long-term success. I would like to say that again, because you always need to think long-term, and that's why I created 5 a.m. cup. So I'm just like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
creative at night.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like everyone, all the motivational speech on YouTube, there's so much now, and they get so popular, like 2 million views and plus. Everyone's like,
Yeah,
everything's get done before 5 a.m., blah blah blah.
yeah,
But it's hard. It's an habit to get there for sure. Yeah, but I think it's on your age too, and level you're at. Like if you're still young, and then you're hanging out with your friends, that it's different mindset than a
yeah,
50 years old person.
for sure, for sure.
With the family.
And also, I was at a TED conference in Hungary a couple of days ago, and there was this one guy who gave a TED speech, and I loved it, because he had this slide in his lecture, and there was like he was following Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he loved Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, and he was working really hard, and he was working really hard in a career that turned out later that was not for himself. And I see that happening with a lot of people, and he has this slide in his lecture where it was like follow find out what is the 6 success rules for Steve Jobs. Find out what is the 9 success habits for Elon Musk. Find out what is the 12 golden rules for Arnold Schwarzenegger. And like, yeah, just if you think about it, just like these guys, if you look at Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, their key to success is not the key to success for you. Maybe you can implement some stuff from their stuff, but actually they are huge on self-awareness. That's why they were successful, and that's why the 6th rule for Steve Jobs was actually working for Steve Jobs and not for me. That's why you need to, get to the level of self-awareness where you can actually get inspired by people. But maybe I will get 1 point from Steve Jobs, I will get 1 point from Elon Musk, and I will try it for myself. 60 day working, not I see, and then I go on and I create my own thing, my own schedule, and then I can, like, if you want, you can have a thing for yourself that 12 success secrets for Roland Tusnadi, for example, if I'm talking about myself. Just do your own fucking stuff that makes you happy and that makes you successful at the same time, because I think that's what we need.
No, that's true. That's totally right, man. And it's self-talk too. It's the key self-talk.
Yeah.
Self-talk is huge. Like we talked before about looking at the stuff in the mirror, but sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, why didn't wake up today? And then your brain, you're talking like this, right? You're like, oh, why you did this? Oh, why not you didn't do this today? And it's always like, you're getting bad with yourself and your self-talk. And then recently I learned about that, and it's so crazy when you're aware of that, because we all do it and all the time. But you need to be aware of like the bad self-talk, because the bad self-talk creates negative wisdom to the universe that you're receiving after.
Yeah.
So you should control your bad self-talk, and sometimes it's just like you shouldn't have any like bad feeling, any remorse, any hate or anything about. If you wake up at 9, it's fine. You're human. You didn't wake up. You didn't wake up. Okay, deal with it. Still smile at the mirror
Like,
and move on.
if you think about it, it's again like I'm saying this a lot. I also already said it a couple of times in this podcast, but I want to make sure it gets to everybody. You need to think long term. I think maybe I'm saying that because I was a poker player for 7 years, and in poker you learn it's winning is all about long term. So you can have a couple of losing days for sure. You're gonna have, I think, if I remember well, I'm not sure. I was not a mathematic guy in poker, but just I love the grind. But I think you have like 50 in the game that I was playing. You have statistically you have 55% of losing days, and you are still making amazing money. So it's also with life. If you accept the fact that we are not always happy, we are not always motivated, it already releases the frustration that you have, because you have this expectation that I supposed to be motivated, I supposed to be happy, I supposed to feel awesome. And yeah, you're gonna feel awesome, you're gonna feel motivated and happy in like the majority of your days, but you're gonna have some really bad days. You're gonna have some heartbreaks and whatever shit comes in your way. The thing is that when this comes to you, please just don't try to resist that. Don't try to change your thinking pattern. So it's not about I'm waking up, my girlfriend broke up with me yesterday, but no, I need to be motivated, I need to be hustling, and I need to be, no, fuck that shit. You need to actually give yourself, that's what we are talking about, you need to give yourself the space, and you need to like just breathe in and say, okay, I'm feeling this right now. This is the flow of life. I'm a human being, I have feelings, I have my flows as all human beings, but still I'm trying to make sure everything is working out for me. So yeah, give yourself the space to feel in when you have pain, to feel when somebody broke your heart, when your business is going in the wrong direction, don't try to instantly change your thinking patterns. But what I love to do, I don't remember where I've read this, but what I really love to do is, for example, let's take the idea like a heartbreak, because like a couple of months ago I had a breakup with a girl, and I was in love, and with the breakup things were not working out, so I was feeling really bad, and it really affected my business. And a couple of years ago, I would just go all in on my business. I would work and I would hustle, and I wouldn't care about my emotions. Like right now, what I did instead of this, I went down to, there is a lake in Hungary, and I went down to this lake, and there is the summer house of my mother, and I asked the keys from her. I went down there, and I love this environment. It's nature, lake, really calm, small village stuff. It's amazing for a retreat with yourself. So I went down there, turned off my mobile phone. I made sure that I can do that. So I turned off my mobile phone, spoke to my clients that for 4 days they won't be able to reach me. Turn off my mobile phone, not taking a laptop, not taking any book, just one book, but made sure that that was not something, self-improvement or something. So I went down there, and for 4 days, I was just like cooking for myself. I was doing yoga, I was meditating, I was working out a little bit, I was going riding a bicycle, I was going to the lake, So I was basically just living simple and giving myself the space, as I said earlier. And from this thing, what turned out? Like one of the best, like on day 3, at the night, I was in the middle of a meditation, and bam, it's just like I had the best business idea that I've ever had in my life. And I was not there for that, but stepping away from my business for a couple of days, giving myself the space, it helps you to actually come up with great ideas. And the key point here, what I wanted to make is that I told myself on Wednesday night that Thursday morning I'm going for 4 days to Lake Balaton, and then on Monday I'm back, and on Monday I'm working. So I gave like a deadline for my sadness. For 4 days I can feel sad for myself. For 4 days I can just be with myself. But on Monday I'm back,
Yeah.
and that's what I've seen. Like that's what I've seen is working. So give yourself the space for feeling sad, but give it a deadline,
That's
and
good,
that's
man.
that's that's a huge one
That's
for
amazing.
me. But it's also, as I said earlier, self-awareness. So experiment. Maybe it's not working for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think it's a good experience for sure to try out. What were your thoughts were like? Were you like thinking a lot, or you were fully conscious in the now? Those
I
so
was, yeah, I was just like, I made sure I don't have a notebook, or I'm not writing anything. Like I love to brainstorm on paper. I'm not a fan of brainstorming on a laptop. So I just made sure that I was just, as you said, completely in the moment. I was just like sunbathing and, yeah, cooking, and always trying to enjoy the moments that I have there. I was not waking up to an alarm clock. I was going to sleep whenever I wanted. So I was just like letting myself experience this. I don't have to do anything right now. I can just enjoy nature. I can enjoy myself. And you don't have to think this is not some kind of like spiritual bullshit. No, it's just we are human beings. We are giving the space to ourselves. Aye, you're going down. Back. Nope.
Yo,
Yo,
I lost the connection. And we're live. But I'm gonna edit all that. I have no choice. Oh man. What a
nah, that's all right.
that's a good experience.
I love what
Uh
you're doing, so that's all right. That's what you should like. We're back, right?
yeah, we're
So
back.
yeah, so that's what I wanted to like point out. Like meeting you in Colombia, and that's what I wanna like. I think it's really important for everybody's out there to take your approach to things because Jeff, you're I think you are really good at when you have something on your mind, you are instantly getting into it and you're starting the doing phase. And with the something new and starting the doing phase right away, and because that's how you can develop mastery. Uh, After you have done something for a while, you need mentors, coaches, whatever. But when you start out, doing is the most important thing in any stuff around there.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think
yeah.
you're amazing in that. So I love this is like
But
entrepreneurship is about that.
sometimes I get lost, man. That's my big problem. I get lost.
But
I
that's
do
all
too
right.
much stuff.
Like that's how you learn. Like we lost the connection like 3 times today, but fuck this. This is entrepreneurship. You're gonna lose the connection 3 times a day. You're gonna
Yeah,
in your business. So this is being an entrepreneur, right? Making
yeah.
the mistakes and learning from them.
You make the most of it and then keep
Yeah.
the smile on. I want to talk about ayahuasca because I'm
Oh
about to do
yeah.
this in the next 6 months for sure. So,
Yeah.
what you learned from your 3 day experience in Colombia doing retreat, ayahuasca retreat? Maybe you can explain before what is ayahuasca.
Yeah. So basically, ayahuasca is like it's called spiritual drug, but I don't really like sacred plant. It has different names. It's as exactly like I don't know exactly the chemistry stuff, but first heard there is DMT, which affects your brain in a way that your conscious and subconscious brain and kind of feels like an expansion or something, but I don't want to sound too spiritual here. But when you are going on this trip, like they give us some tips before we went on the trip. So basically, before the 2 days, 2 nights, I did 2 nights of ayahuasca. Before that, I was. They told us not to eat meat, not to have sex, and not to not to overstimulate our brain before the ayahuasca. So I was just in Bogota, and I was for 4 days. I was doing the kind of the same that I told you about Lake Balaton. So I was just enjoying myself, walking in the city, exploring the city, going to whatever museums and parks, and just take it easy. And then they asked us to make sure we are going there with the intention. And my intention, because I quitted the poker company that we were talking about just right before this experience, right before the ceremony. So my intention was I wanted to get some answers, um, because I'm a guy who likes to do a lot of stuff at the same time. Stuff that are go can go each other can go next to each other. So not stuff that are like completely in another whatever. Like, so you are not a driver and you're not a podcaster, but you are maybe a podcaster and a coach, and you're giving lectures. It can go next to each other. So my big question before ayahuasca was, should I go all in on podcasting stuff, or should I be a coach or whatever? And well, ayahuasca experience was really crazy. It was one of the I can say one of the best experiences of my life. So it really showed me a lot of stuff about myself. Also give answers to my technical questions. I mean, for example, for this question, like ayahuasca helped me finding out that I don't really need to take a path. So I don't need to go just on podcasting. I don't need to go on just on interviewing people. I don't need to go just on vlogging or whatever, you name it. I can do all of that together because that's what I like. But the biggest thing from ayahuasca for me was at the first night, uh, I took the, like, you drink it. It's like a shot or something. So it's So you go there, and they had the proper ceremony. So I was doing at a really good place. It was kind of felt like you're in a church or something, but it was amazing. There were men and women, and they had a circle of word, and they were talking about. There were like 100 people, so a lot, and we were only like three Westerners. So we were like, I was with a British couple and and me. So there we were like three outsiders and like 100 Colombian people who've been doing ayahuasca for 5, 10, 20 years, whatever. And so they were talking about children's education, which was amazing, and seeing that and being in that environment just made sure that I felt really safe. So I think that's a big one that I would never advise anybody to do ayahuasca at his house or at home. No, if you're doing ayahuasca, I think the best thing is to make sure that you're actually doing it in a traditional environment where ayahuasca has a meaning and it's not just a spiritual drug, because
Yeah.
you can do it this way, but it's fucked up. So yeah, for me the first one, I did it and I didn't feel anything for like 60 minutes. Then there was a little ceremony with like dancing shamans dancing around and all this crazy stuff. And then at one point, bam, it just like it hit me, kind of hit me. I was like, what is happening? And then I go back to my. We had hammocks there. I go back to my hammock, and I was feeling. First, I was feeling really sad. I kind of like started to cry. It showed me experiences from my past that I didn't remember from my childhood, and it was crazy. Like the pictures and everything is so intense. You see that, and you start to.
It's lucid. Like you close your eyes at this moment and then you think,
Yeah.
or it's your eyes are open. You sit down. You're like
No,
you're
my
just
eyes
on
were
your
my
bed.
eyes were closed. I was like lying in my hammock, so my eyes were closed, and I was seeing these. Like it's kind of like I was looking at a movie. I was looking at a movie from my childhood, and it showed me the first friendship of my life. I was friends with Hungary and Croatia is neighbors, and this guy was from Croatia, but we're living in was living in Hungary, and. And he was, and we were in the school. He was my first friend in my life, and after 3 years of friendship, his parents decided to move back to Croatia, and that was like, for me it was the worst thing that could happen. You know, you are a small kid, you have your best friend, you are doing everything together, and he moves back, and I just blamed him. So I was a kid, and I didn't understand why he's moving back, and I thought it's his fault, so I blamed him. And ayahuasca kind of showed me that, now looking back, as an early or a young adult looking back, I realized that because of blaming him for leaving me, in my mind I felt that he left me. And this is the first friendship, so it really affects all your relationships in your life, friendship, love, relationships, whatever. I didn't really open up in the way to people, uh, as much as I could open up. So if I got into a love relationship, I didn't really open up fully, because I felt I was scared. Because of my first experience in my life, I was scared that this girl will leave me, or also in friendships. So I thought that I really open up to people, but ayahuasca just showed me that no, there is another level. There is a level of happiness and love where you are not affected by your first early childhood memories. And that was a huge one for me.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy,
it's
man.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, just
And
just
then like,
just hearing you saying stuff like that makes me think of like, oh my god.
yeah.
And and you
And
know
then
like
like the second part, just the second part of that. So that was the first. It showed me the picture. It showed me this movie. It made me reflect on myself. But then I took a second shot at the same night, and the second one was actually just like this huge love that they talk about. Like you remember back when you met your your first love, or you met a girl that you really fall in love and you have this feeling that everything is pink and everything is beautiful. Ayahuasca showed me that for the second time. Like there was a guy who played the guitar, and I went in. I'm not ashamed of that anything, because that's kind of changed my life. So maybe some people listening to that, if I would listen to myself, I would be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But I lived it, and it was amazing, and it really changed me in affected my life in a lot of ways. So I went back to the place where there were the shamans and there were the people. Went back there, and there was this one guy playing the guitar, and I was just like, I sit down, and I was just listening for the guitar for like, I don't know, for an hour or something, and I was just feeling this, like, regarding DMT and ayahuasca, they talk about this feeling of you are enough, this feeling of you just don't need anything else in your life. You know, this kind of like this child mind. So when you have a 1 year or 2 year old children, and around there, and they don't really need anything, they don't crave anything, they are okay with, I give them this empty glass, they will play with that for like 2 hours. And I was kind of feeling that I was living through this memory again, and that was also amazing. Like realizing that, it's kind of like realizing that you are enough, and you are good, and you are good doing the good stuff. Yeah, I think it's all about that. Through entrepreneurship, through relationships, whatever, just try to be a good man, try to be a good lover, try to be a good businessman, try to be a good leader. Like, give love to everybody who comes in your way, and that you that's gonna be an amazing life.
For sure, man.
Everything else is just like, it's just the manifestation of your inner self. So that's what I believe.
They say if you suffer, it's because you're selfish. You think only of yourself.
Yeah.
If there's no suffering in the present, if you only think in the now, you're fully mindfully, like you're just appreciating the talk we're having, or the meal you're eating, or anything what you're doing at the moment. There's no loneliness. There's no suffering in any kind. And yeah, like that's a huge issue right now with necessity, because we're bombarded by advertising and like people trying to get our attention on this, on that, on everything. So yeah,
But that's amazing. There are podcasts like yours, and then we can just like, we can talk about that stuff. I mean, that's why I love the new era of content creators. That's amazing. Like 20 years ago, you couldn't say that stuff out loud because you didn't have the platform for that. But now there are people around this world, more and more people, as I believe, and we can say out stuff like that, and we can, yeah, try to be better human beings in a, and I'm not trying to look down on anybody, don't get me wrong, but just be the best version of yourself, give love, that's it.
no, that's true. That's true. There's a real momentum on all that, and that's for
Yeah.
sure. And with all the communication through voice and video, it's like becoming more and more. And it's I was reading an article, and it's on the next generation, the Generation Z, that we really see the effect of it. Like for example, there's 75% of Generation Z right now. They're about to finish university. They want to be entrepreneurs. They want to go impact the world, and not by making money or anything else, but by giving back into like a foreign country that they never been, that they want to go out, or anything, and or
That's
like
amazing.
V corporation, you know. Yeah, it's that's why they say the future is abundance, you know. Like I think there's gonna be a worldwide awareness about that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Slowly. We're still we didn't cross the channel. We need to we're still early birds on that for sure. Where it's coming. Uh, yeah, you did also Nomad Cruise, right? And that's a retreat on a cruise from South Africa, Colombia to South America, Colombia to
Portugal.
Portugal. Yeah, with the it with like-minded people, where like you guys did like meditation, boot camp, and all kind of talks with the same content, right?
So basically it's a 2-week trip, as you said, ocean cruise. through the Atlantic, and you have like 3,000 people on the cruise, but only 150, 200 nomad cruisers, we can call them. I've seen the last one. There was like Nomad Cruise 5 or whatever. Right now, I didn't go back, but because I have some stuff in Hungary right now. But there were like 280 people or something. This was a huge one.
Really?
It's building really well. It was a nice experience. And I'm just like trying to think back. How was it? Like, it's a really nice experience.
What
It's
did you
really
what did
unique
you learn? What did you
so
learn
it's
from
really
it?
unique to be on the cruise for like 2 weeks with the people. What I've learned is like networking with I really love networking. Networking is a huge one for me. Also, we partied for like 2 weeks, which was for me at this time was amazing because you are on a boat, you don't have anything to do, so you just enjoy life, and then you go to the workshops. What I've learned for myself, the biggest thing that I had this breakfast with the guy from Colombia. Huge shout out to Andre, and I had a breakfast with him, and we were talking about some stuff, how you can like we were talking basically about pre-sale and like marketing strategies, but this was a big one. But if I look back, the best advice that I got from there, like business advice, I had a dinner with some people, and this is why you need to go there, because like what you learn, the things that you take away are not happening at the. I mean, the workshops and everything are amazing, but when you are talking to a guy next to a tequila or whatever, and then this is the time, this is the moment when you have this amazing conversation. So that's why I love Nomad Cruise. And I was at a dinner, and there was this guy, Dutch guy, sitting next to me, Jerome. And Jerome told me that uh, if you are not ashamed by the first product that you have launched, then you launched too late. And I just like I
Yeah,
loved it. I mean, like
that's true.
this is a huge this is amazing advice. So
Yeah,
yeah, you should. This is what we were talking about earlier. You should be always in the doing phase. Launch your product as
yeah.
soon as you can, and then
Like the podcast we're doing at the moment.
yeah, yeah,
Everyone,
master it, and that's what we
ev-
are doing right now.
yeah, everyone's telling me, "Hey, it's terrible." I know it's
Yeah,
terrible. It's a work in progress.
but it's amazing. That's the key. I think
Yeah,
that's the key to success in business. Like
no,
launch
that's
as
true,
soon as
man.
you can, and yeah, take care
Just
of
take
because there
action.
are.
That's it.
And that goes back to the thing that we were talking about on the beginning of the podcast. Like being a good leader is all about asking the people around you, asking the people that you lead, asking the people that you are working with, what do they want? It's the same with like with launching a product. So if you launch a product, don't try to master it for like a year or 2 years or whatever. I think it's more about um, because we are entrepreneurs and sometimes we are really narcissistic and egoistic, and we think that we know all the shit, but we don't. The people who will buy from us, they know the things that they want. So that's why I think you should always be focused on your customers, on your employees, you name it. But yeah, just put the product on the market and ask for feedback, ask for review, and then master it. Don't master it as you think it's supposed to be good. Master it as the people who uses it think it's supposed to be good. I think that was the key one for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's for sure. To go always like talk, have good deep conversation with your first clients, and then even like reward
Exactly.
them for like the time they give it to you. Like like give them a good discount on the next product or anything. Like even you can pay them a beer. It's nothing.
Yeah,
And no,
it's
that's the key
always.
for sure.
But when we start
Okay.
out, I think when we start out as young entrepreneurs, we think that we know the shit, and
Yeah.
then we have this because we have this amazing product and we want to put it into the market, and we are working on for like a year, and we put it in the market and no one buys it, and we are
Yeah.
surprised, and
Yeah.
then man, you wouldn't be surprised if you would pull your audience, if you would pull your market, if you would ask them questions. So that's I think that's big one.
No, it's true. I see a lot of young entrepreneurs, and they're in their first year, 2 year, and they think they're about to become millionaire. But what they don't know is it's not working on the business. The problem is working on yourself,
Yeah,
and your business will never outgrow you. And
yeah,
working on yourself takes years. You know, takes years.
yeah. That's so true. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just like the success of a company is just it's. I wouldn't say just only depends on the level of the CEO, but yeah, it's like as you said, it can the business can't outgrow you. So you need to grow. You need to transform your reality, and then your business also jumps to the next level.
yeah.
That's
No,
yeah.
that's a huge,
I mean,
huge,
it's pure
huge thing.
wisdom, man.
Yeah, no, that's massive. Um, I don't know. Maybe I can say that. Recently, it's always about retransforming yourself. Recently, I did the youth transformation, and I didn't think that it was affecting me, but it did in my subconscious. And it's so stupid. I've been like going from month to month, different countries the last year and a half now, and then yeah, like everyone thinks I'm living the life, blah blah blah, blah. But I was still living with my backpack and seeing myself in the mirror with my backpack. I thought I was poor, you know, but I
Yeah,
was living this lifestyle that everyone wanted. But in my mind, I was like, I'm poor because I have a backpack, because I go to hostel and I'm surrounded with people with backpack mentality, you know.
yeah.
So recently, I threw away my backpack and I bought
Oh,
suitcase and
what?
everything, and it's stupid stuff like that, and
Our video's
allow
gone.
me to change my mindset effectively. And we don't know that. Start realizing that it's huge.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes.
Because the video was gone for like 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So the point where I lost the connection, you said that you throw away your backpack,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I try. I wear a backpack, and then I committed to not go to hostel anymore to make sure that I was not looking or be sub. My circumstance would not be affected by people with a poor mentality mindset.
Yeah, yeah, which is
And
which is which is
I thought that I was not affected by it because I was working on myself and I think I don't have this poor mentality mindset, but by only seeing people in my surrounding like that, it was affecting me.
And so what did you buy instead? Like a Samsonite Traveler or what?
Yeah, yeah, I have a business suitcase now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, business suitcase, and then now I do only expensive Airbnb.
yeah,
But it depends where you are, you know. In Tokyo, it's very expensive
yeah.
everything. So.
But that's what you said is that is interesting. I think like I'm a huge fan and believer of of uh, of going all in, and like make sure that your savings and make sure that every your financial background is all right for that. But then yeah, using your money to leverage the places that you are going to. So for example, like let's just take this scenario. When I went to Colombia and you were already in the what is the name of the house that we stayed in?
I don't know, but it was high end for sure.
Yeah,
And
it was a good house. It's so that's why it was one of the best houses of that neighborhood. So that's why we met. Because if I would spend half the money, I would go to a hostel or some crap, and then I wouldn't meet the same people I met there. So for example,
yeah,
I met Max there, who was your friend. You guys lived together. I met Max there, just for listeners. I met Max there, and then he came to me in the summer, and he spent some weeks in Budapest, and we had an amazing time. We went to a festival together, like it's a improving yourself. So it's all about like consciousness and this kind of stuff. So not a music festival or something. But we really loved it, and that's how we met each other, because all of us, we have paid more than the rest of the people.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to look down on anybody, and I'm not trying to say that you should go all in with your money, because that's bullshit. You need to have your financial background right before you do that. But if you have it right, don't be a cheap motherfucker, as Max would say. Just, yeah,
That's
use
true.
your
That's true.
resources to actually be able
Yeah.
to meet people with the same mindset.
That's true. I was living cheaply. That's why, and then it was that's what I was getting. I was giving this into the universe, and
Yeah,
the universe was giving it back to me like the same. And it's not
yeah,
I didn't go all in with the next step, but it's like baby step. You
for
move
sure.
to, and then there's stuff too, like you're doing with your Monday stuff. I was reading about a guy. You can do once a month. I do a 4-star hotel where I'm gonna make sure that there's a community there of business travelers. And then by
Yeah,
doing this 2 nights, you might have the chance to meet someone.
yeah, exactly. Amazing.
And it's just about like creating a persona of like, oh yeah, I'm a successful entrepreneur, and then you just hang out with the person, and then you can have a good learning session or even a good
Yeah,
connection.
friendship,
Yeah,
business partnership, whatever. But it's amazing.
amazing. Yes, hey, we've been talking for a long time, and with all those cuts, let's go for a conclusion. So slowly, who inspire you the most?
Wow, that's yeah. I have a, like. Do you mean like life wise or business wise?
You choose.
Well, then I would say life wise. Like life wise, the the biggest inspiration for me is my mother, for sure, because
Okay.
yeah, she raised me, she gave me the mentality, she always supported me, so I was really lucky in that scenario, and I never said I'm not, because I was really lucky to have a mother like her. She always told me to go after my dreams, I can reach anything I want. She always supported me in the things I was doing, and she always supported me, even when I made silly transitions, like as a kid. You know what is silly transition? When you are quitting football and you're going to play basketball, for example. I did this when I was really young, and she supported me. She always, like, she didn't say that, no, you have already played 7 years of football and now you should stay with that. No, she said, yeah, let's do whatever you want, let's travel, let's enjoy the world. But she always, with this mindset, with this mentality, with actually giving me the freedom, she always encouraged me to, yeah, just live life fully. And we can talk about anything, relationship, travel, business, whatever, but that's what I'm trying to do. And it's her inspiration. So yeah, huge shout out for my mother. That's it.
That's amazing, man. Amazing, man. Thank you for your
Thanks.
thoughts. I think it's the right mindset, and it's crazy because
Yeah.
people they're not aware of that. They're not aware of that. And I think you're gonna answer right the next questions after this. From this answer, what would you do today if you were given $10 million?
Oh, 10 million. I like, with 10 million, like right now, that would, so for sure, from 1 million I would buy real estate. That's it. And then the rest I would, actually 9 million I would just put into like building my social media. And that, from the first point, that would sound selfish, but right now I think Facebook advertisement and like Instagram and YouTube, all of that are still really cheap and amazing, amazing opportunities that I don't really wanna miss out. So yeah, 9 million. I would just try to grow my social media, because I think with like, having a massive social media following, then it gives you all the, it lets you to actually make an impact. So I could say with like 9 million, I could say that, oh, I'm helping this and this charity and whatever. But no, I'm like, because that would be a one shot. But if I have from 9 million, I grew my social media like fucking Ty Lopez, love that guy. So if I would grow my social media into this level, for example in Hungary, because you can do that from 9 million, then I could basically like get involved in every project. I could get companies sponsorship for my projects. So from there, from this huge social media following, I think this would give me kind of the total freedom to actually do whatever project I want and help people in whatever way I want. So that would be, after I have this social media following, maybe that is the purpose of the question. I would try to inspire young people to follow their dreams and to help them, finding out who are they, what are they love, what what they should do. Like, yeah, this is the thing that really interests me right now. Trying to help young people to go after their dreams, like as my mother helped me. Yeah.
I can see your ongoing channel and you're growing towards this, and I think
Yeah.
yeah, it's good content you put up out there. But do you think you're ready for that? Like, let's say you have a million following tomorrow, are you ready to like get back at the level of a million following? It's the same question when people ask, are you ready to be a millionaire tomorrow?
Yeah.
And then there's people that they don't understand this question. It's like basically like they want to be a millionaire, but you're not worth to be a millionaire now, because like
Exactly.
like you didn't grow to the level of
Yeah.
to be.
Now I think that's an amazing question, and that really, like, as you put up, as you ask the question, it's just like it blew my mind. Like, yeah, am I worthy? Am I worthy for a million like Facebook likes
Are
or
you
40?
are you on this level? And
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then,
This is
and
this is an
then
amazing question,
yeah, yeah.
but I think like if like so that's why the like when I read this question before, and my answer was like a couple of weeks ago, and I was thinking about that example, and so with this money, you can, like I said, 1 million to real estate, and I said 9 million to Facebook. So with this question, that was an amazing question. So let's say that, okay, you are right. Maybe I shouldn't put 9 million into social media. I should put, like, I don't know, like 5 million to social media and 4 million to mentoring and education. So that's how I can work with the best ones. And that's, now I have like the 500,000 Facebook likes or whatever. But I make sure I'm working with the right people. I'm collaborating with the right people from the rest of the money. So that was a really a good question. And yeah, that's
No,
that's what I would use,
that's for
because
sure.
that's you need it doesn't matter where you are, you just need constant education. Like, if you think about Warren Buffett, like, think about this guy, like, still until today, how much he reads a day. Like, it's nonsense. It's I wouldn't say nonsense, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's no stop to growth, and you make your brain work, and that's how you stay alive. Like
Yeah.
the average people that go on retirement, they die after 3 years
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they stop doing anything. They stop growing. They stop learning, improving.
There's no mission. Yeah. No mission
I,
in
I, I
life.
have another question to you that's a bit gonna help you respond on the $10 million one. So this one is, if I give you an envelope of $5 and I tell you you have 2 hours to make it grow with an entrepreneur mindset, what do you do?
Oh, what? Sorry, what was the beginning of the question?
So I give you an envelope with $5, and then I give you 2 hours to make grow this $5 with the entrepreneur mindset. Like what do you do?
I have no idea about what is the envelope. That's the problem. So that's my English skills. You suck it there.
It's just a piece of paper, like an envelope or a bag or anything. A bag. I give you $5.
Yeah.
I
So
give
you
you
give me
just
five
$5.
dollars, and I have 2 hours to grow it.
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah. So like right now, I think like $5. I love that, to grow it. Like right now, because I'm thinking about my business, from $5, I would try to somehow, I think I would set up. I have 2 hours, so I would set up. Like, I would do a Facebook Live and using my social media. And actually I would go to some cafe or something, and I would tell 5 people. So I would do the Facebook Live, and I will tell the people to come to this or that cafe place in Budapest, and they have like, I don't know, like 60 minutes. I would buy coffee to everybody from this $5, so everybody gets a free coffee who comes to the cafe place, and
With $5.
with $5, yeah, you can like. So basically, you can get a coffee in Budapest for like $2.
Okay.
So you have
So
maybe you have some water for some people and some coffee,
that's
so
two
whatever.
coffee.
You can invite like 2 or 3 people,
Okay.
and you invite them there, and you survey them what are their, so you are surveying them like what are their biggest obstacles, what are their what are the things that they actually want in life. Or maybe I would use the $5 to actually so go live on Facebook, and then put on advertisements, like it's not that much, but it reaches more people, and I will try to engage with the people. And I'm going back to the point that I made earlier, that I'm trying to ask the people what do they want. So from the Facebook Live, a couple of people will tell me they have this problem or they want that, and then now I have like 4 business ideas. So then I'm trying to, with the internet, you can develop a lot of business ideas basically for zero money. So I would pick the one that I can develop with zero money, and then I would try to make a business out of that. So that would be my $5. I don't even need the $5 for that, actually.
No, but after 2 hours, how you make it grow? Like you know what I mean? That's the question. Like in
But
two
yeah, but
hours,
then,
you need to make a profit.
so then actually, like after the 2 hours, I enroll them at the end, and I'm giving them a coaching package or whatever. Maybe I'm not the best to answer this question, sorry, but that's it. That's my answer. I would go Facebook Live. I would, from
I
the
put
five
you.
dollars, I would advertise it, and then I would sell group coaching or whatever at the end. So
Okay.
that's it. That's how I grew my $5.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. No, basically, yeah, it's a tricky question. Basically, the right answer is you need to forget about the $5,
Yeah,
and then you need to think of that. What are my strengths? What are my skills? Or
yeah,
what is my network? And what can I deal with that I can leverage? And
yeah,
this is the core of entrepreneurship. It's what can I leverage that I have right now that I can surround myself with. It's basically
well, yeah.
the
Then
same
I
question.
was kind of right, because I said like I don't even need the $5 for that. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly,
fuck this question,
exactly.
Jeff.
It's the same with the $10 million. Like I don't think you need 5 million of promotion on social media and stuff like that. If you have the right leverage, you're gonna grow uh, at the level that you are, and then it's
Yeah,
just gonna go like there's no way you if you don't have the right product for the right market fit, that if you put 10 million in advertising, it's gonna help. It's not gonna help.
yeah, yeah. That's for sure.
There's yeah, like best entrepreneurs, they think always, how can I leverage something.
Yeah. So,
It's
for example, you can just spend the $10 million then on serving people.
that's the best answer, my friend.
Yeah,
That's the best answer, my friend.
yeah,
Yeah. Always how you need to think how to get back.
yeah.
Yeah, man. That's the summary of this podcast. All right, man. Thank you so much. We're doing a small conclusion where I start the sentences and then I allow you to finish them. If you can just repeat what I just say, and then continue the sentence.
Okay.
Uh, Happiness is
Happiness is a fulfilled life for me.
okay. Be grateful every day, or
Or you said?
yep.
You said off or or.
Be grateful every day, or.
Or what the fuck? Be
or
grateful
what?
every day, or just just don't wake up, man. If you're not grateful, like there is no point in life. Be grateful, or just like go
Yeah,
down the bridge with your car. You know, like
yeah,
crush it. I'm
yeah,
kidding, but
exactly.
yeah.
That's true, man. Um, the greatest pleasure in life is.
Wow. Oh, the greatest pleasure in life for me, I think to the greatest pleasure in life is to look into other people's eyes and see that spark. You know, like you know what I'm talking about, having that spark, and that can be love, that can be business, that can be friendship, whatever. Love that
That's,
spark.
that's true, man. It's mindful connection.
Yeah,
Yeah. Again, I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about that, and sometimes we the universe give us those opportunities of like real connection with people surrounding where we're going or walking around, but we're not fully in the present moment to be aware of it and
yeah,
just like realize it. And so because you're thinking of like, oh my god, I forgot this, or you're
yeah,
thinking of like something you need to do in the future after the event you're going for networking or stuff like that.
yeah.
So
You need to
again,
make sure. You need to make sure you are there in the moment, and you are, yeah, not missing out on people. Yeah.
the only trip you will regret is
Only trip or thing?
trip.
Only trip. I would regret.
The only trip you will regret is.
I I don't regret trip. I'm sorry, I can't finish this one. Yeah, it's that I didn't take or whatever. You know, there is this like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is, you
this,
can like it's the Facebook
that,
cover quote. The only trip I regret is the one I didn't take. Like, dude, like
yeah, exactly. Okay, last one. Uh, fail often or
what did you say?
fail often or
Fell?
yeah, failing.
I just didn't understand the. Just
Fail,
give me
fail,
another one.
fail.
Fell.
Yeah, or confront your fear, or
Mm. Confront your fear, or wake up every day and looking in the mirror and know that you are not living the life that you want.
you should
I
be.
think I think it's about that, because I think the essence of life is actually confronting your fear. That's yeah.
That's yeah. Because it started by controlling your mind. Basically, fears come from your mind. It's just trying to protect yourself, but most of the time, it's from an old mindset of like from the ancient like Kevin humans. Of like your fear
Yeah.
of like jumping from a
What
bridge
was
or
what was
like.
the fear for you that you have recently faced? Like, what was
So
the recent?
so now you're doing the podcast.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Okay. Well, I don't know. The fear. Well, recently I took a personal decision to have a kid in the next year. That's deep because I would never thought this of myself. Always thought I would have a kid in at 35 or even 40 years old. But now I'm ready, and then I started to make the procedure to adopt. So yeah, very stressful, and then yeah, scary move, but because I'm way far from being stable right now, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it because I know what's gonna bring me and what I can give back as well by doing
it's
this.
amazing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
amazing. Proud of you, man.
yeah,
Amazing.
man. A little Colombian girl. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
So and I think there's this, and I'm still scared of public speaking.
Yeah,
trying to work on that. Yeah, yeah. Because
that's
I
good.
would, yeah, it's a big one for a lot of people, and it's about just doing it and doing it, and then you get used to it after.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to work on that this year for sure
Are you
too.
going to some public speaking clubs, or how do you deal with it?
And so now my goal this month is to give a speech at the University of Hong Kong in a class
Oh,
of 50 people. So actually next week I'm gonna be just knocking at the doors and selling myself of what I can share, and hopefully like one teacher is gonna be open to my story, and then I'm gonna start like that, you know.
yeah,
But I did some in the past with like 200 people and stuff like that. I think I performed correctly, but always was a very stressful moment. Couldn't sleep 3 days before and stuff like that. So I want to
yeah,
work on that. Yeah, yeah, it's very
yeah. That's you. Like it's the top three fear for people. I think
really
public speaking is one of them.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the height too. Like you're afraid of heights, right?
yeah.
It's funny. I did there's no connection when we talk about, but I did this new VR simulation here in Tokyo, and it's a game where like you shoot monsters, but you're totally in it. You're with a gun, and then you're walking on this path. It lasts 20 minutes, and on the whole thing, it's like you're walking, and then it's so real. It's crazy. You're
Yeah,
totally
I get
there.
it. Yeah,
And and the last one is like you need to walk on a small bridge that is so tiny. And my
yeah.
brain froze. I couldn't believe it. My brain froze. I was there. I couldn't move. I
Wow.
was not able to put my feet on the yeah, because I'm afraid of heights. I was like, I know it's a game. I know I'm in the game, but I was not able to walk on the bridge. I froze there for like 2 minutes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That's
couldn't
just
believe it,
like that's gonna
man.
be massive. Like I mean, like this new industry and yeah,
Oh
this
no,
new
no.
game
Oh
experience.
no. Oh, this game was so real, man. It
Yeah,
was so real. I was totally like, oh my god. It's just after you have a headache and there's like some bad after
yeah,
effects, but like oh my god, that was so real. It's crazy. My heart was pumping. I was there. I was like you're escaping the the
yeah,
the the balls from the other people shooting at you, and then you're there, you're prison, and then no, where we're going with all this is gonna be insane for
yeah.
sure.
It's
Like oh my
insane.
god.
Yeah, I also tried. I tried the Oculus VR in Budapest, and yeah, that's like I think that's not close to the one that you described right now, but yeah, that was also like scorpions were climbing on the walls, and I was like, wow, this is quite something. So this is gonna be
Uh,
really intense, yeah, as you said.
uh, but I hope people's gonna have a balance towards those things, you know, because we don't want to be invaded by those technologies where like we become living in those technologies. It's like if it's like our smartphone right now, you know, like most like 95% of
Do
people
you
like.
actually think? Do you think that people would be able to handle and balance this, handle this kind of techniques?
But it's gonna be hard. It's like the video game industry in Asia. It's massive. Here in Tokyo, for example, everyone is just playing games all the time on their phone, or there's arcades everywhere, and they just smoke all day, and it's
Yeah.
just nuts.
And
It's
now we
nuts.
are only talking about gaming, but we all know because I think mostly guys are following you, and we all know that porn industry is also massive
Yeah,
on VR. So this is yeah, this is gonna be a big like this is gonna be dangerous for the young guys out there, for the teenagers. So
it's gonna be something.
yeah.
It's gonna be like they won't go out of their room. You know?
I would be 14 again. I would just sit in my room all day, you know, like
Oh
just
man,
fuck
that's
it.
crazy planet
Yeah,
we're gonna move in.
yeah.
Okay, man. Hey, amazing talking to you, man. Thank you for sharing your story and then your insight and your advice on life mastery.
Thanks, man.
Very
Thank you.
appreciated, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, like we've been having a few issues with the connection, but we made it. And then
That's right.
I'll put this up together and we'll make something
Okay.
out of it. And
Thank you for
I
the
mean,
invitation, and I
yeah,
really appreciate you. Sorry, I really appreciate you for doing that show, and keep on grinding, man. I love what you are doing, so
yeah,
keep on
soon,
going.
soon. Every day, I'm trying to do three a week now, so it's slowly
Oh,
growing.
that's amazing.
It's mainly right now working on like asking the right question and the momentum,
Yeah.
and then yeah, trying to keep the conversation engaged and learning about yourself, about like how to ask the right questions. There's a whole game behind this. It's crazy.
And have to be present. I think it's really so.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
that's
important.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, no, it's and it's hard. You know this, but it's hard. You're even doing it. For example, the human brain can transition 550 words a minute,
Hmm.
but we can only speak 220. So what most people do is they don't really listen. They listen with the intent of responding, with the
Yeah.
intent of moving forward with the next question. They don't listen mindfully, being present, because the
Exactly.
brain is able to do something else at the same time. And then yeah, I need now. I'm actually working on that. It's hard. It's hard, but yeah, it's always like when you think, oh no, I'm not there. You come back. You come back,
Yeah.
and that's what bring real conversations.
Exactly. That's in everyday life. Like girls, like I've seen with like girls, they really appreciate when men are really there. We are really listening. We are deep listening. We are present in the moment. That's what they crave, not some PUA shit or whatever. They don't want the techniques, man. They want you to be there, be a real man, listen to them, and yeah, then they're gonna just like love you.
Yeah, it's like everything, like managing your community. And thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Peace,
See you.
love.
See you in Budapest or somewhere around the world. All
And
right?
Medellin. Yes.
Yeah.
Ciao, ciao.
See you. See you.